everyone, it's Tammy, and here is my first meal prep video. I don't have a lot of space in my kitchen. As you can see, I live in an apartment, so I made do the best that I could. I was actually planning on cooking more than what I did. What I decided to do was the taco bell peppers because Chris really enjoyed that this week, and I made sirloin with some homemade mashed potatoes, spinach, and some green peppers and onions. Sorry, it's taken me a second to remember. It took me 2 days to actually edit this video. It used to be over an hour long, and now it is not. But I am just starting to boil my regular Idaho potatoes. Excuse Kieran over here. Boil my potatoes for the homemade mashed potatoes, and then I have sweet potatoes that I am making baked because I was going to make some chicken this go around. I've decided to wait and do it today, and later on in the video I will explain a little bit more about why I waited. So I'm showing you the seasoned salt that I had already put into the hamburger meat, which it wasn't recording whenever I did all that, but I used seasoned salt for that, and I went ahead and hollowed out my peppers. And here in a second you're going to see me cut the green peppers and onions for later on. Here's the ready rice, the jasmine ready rice. Sorry about that, I got the little toddler running around trying to be the boss of everybody. But I put the ready rice into the microwave for 90 seconds, and then that is done. After that, what I do with the rice is I put half of the bag in with the taco meat after the taco meat has sizzled and everything and got really into the meat, the seasoning. Right here, I'm putting olive oil and some steak seasoning and meat tenderizer all together so that I can slightly marinate the sirloins. Excuse my child. See, I just get it covered up with the oil with the seasonings on it, and then I just put it in the skillet, and I had it cooking on low for a while. I cooked these medium, closer to medium rare, because Chris likes his meat bloody. I do not, but he does, and also so it's more tender whenever he reheats it. So here's the ready rice. I am about to put half of the bag in here with this. I decided not to do the chicken, so I just put the other half of the bag in with a green pepper later, and you'll see that in the video. No, I don't measure anything out. You're about to see me put a whole ton of cheese on this meat, but that's the way that Chris likes it, so that's the way I'm gonna make it. I have my oven on 400 degrees, so the potatoes and the peppers can just go in there at the same time. The peppers, I did not boil them. A lot of people boil them first, but Chris prefers them to be crispy, so I just put them in there as is, and he enjoys them. He ate one yesterday, actually. I ended up getting 2 bags of spinach this time, and I decided to cook both of them right now because we did not have enough room in our refrigerator for drinks. And at the end, you'll actually see a picture of my refrigerator. It's a hot mess. We barely have any room, so I guess it was good that I did not make that chicken yet. Here I am testing to make sure that the sirloins are not too bloody or too done. I've started seasoning all of the veggies with this salt-free veggie salt, or not salt, seasoning, because if not, it gets loaded down with regular salt, and the seasoning's actually really good. So I didn't talk during this because the boys were actually napping, and let me show you a pic real quick. For the green peppers, when I put them in, I put a timer on for 20 minutes. It didn't even need to be in there for the 20 minutes, so you'll see me just watching to see when they're done. And they actually got done before the 20-minute mark. Here I am taking the sirloin off and putting in the spinach, and I just figure out as I go along what sides are going to be with what meal. So this ends up getting some green pepper and onion that I cook a little later on in the video, and some of those homemade mashed potatoes. And the broccoli that I made, it just comes in the bag. You just poke some holes in the bag and you put it in the microwave for 4 minutes. So if you can tell that I barely have any space to do anything, and that front little eye that I'm not using, it's actually messed up and it doesn't work. So I only had 3 eyes to do all of this with. That's why I'm just multitasking, doing as much as I can at a time. I'm able to tell that the peppers are done to Chris's liking whenever the sides are crusty and forming around the top, and then the cheese is all nice and melted. Alright, so these mashed potatoes, I actually do not have anything to mash the potatoes with, so I just used a ladle, and it worked. I'm not one that's going to go out and buy all these fancy kitchen gadgets if I can make it work with something I already have, so that's what I did. And this butter, I just finished it off. Later on, I did add some more milk and butter, but I don't think I think I edited that out of the video just for time's sake. I got our video down to 14 minutes. So that is good for me, because I know you guys probably do not want to watch a full hour of just this. So in the baked potatoes, I put milk, butter. I just do it to the liking. I don't measure it out. I put some salt, pepper, parsley, and garlic. The onions and peppers got a little more brown than I typically would do. That's just because I was doing so many things at one time. but they're still really good, so. I had a timer on my phone for these sweet potatoes for an hour, which they're obviously small, so I just did the fork test. They were nice and soft. Here I am finishing up these plates to go ahead and get that lid on, and I put some more parsley flakes on the potatoes and on the steak a little bit. He eats his steak without anything, but I did get him some Taco Bell hot sauce because he's a hot sauce kind of guy. Here I am putting more seasoned veggie seasoning on the turnips. And look how pretty that is. Here I am just briefly showing you what the other two containers are. I typically wouldn't put a side with a bell pepper, but like I said, I didn't make the chicken this time. And the reason being is I was burning up at this point. I was like, look, I gotta go ahead and get these sides put up. And I did put individual sides in, well, not individual sides. I put a container just full of sides in the refrigerator because I'll end up making the chicken to go with it later. But I was burning up and I thought, well, I've just been over this stove for almost an hour now. That's why. But whenever I sat down, I was like, okay, it's really hot in here. I went to check my thermostat. It was completely off. Like, no light on my thermostat. Had to call maintenance. And it was where the back of my AC had filled with water. So he had to drain it out and clean it real good. Hopefully it doesn't happen anymore. But it was 73 by the time it started running again. So after cooking for an hour, I was like, oh my goodness. Thankfully it wasn't off for long and I noticed it very quickly. I just made sure that everything that I put in these containers can go with a meal together. I made sure not to put the sweet potatoes and the mashed potatoes together because who wants to have two potatoes? Two different kind of potatoes for a meal. I did put the extra potatoes that I had in just a little container that Alistair and I will probably eat throughout the week. These containers are mostly for Chris for whenever he gets home from work and while he is at work. So whenever he gets home, he doesn't have to cook. He was doing that for a while just because if you've been watching my channel, you know I've been going through some things. So I am finally back to feeling well enough to cook and clean, and I'm very happy about it, and I give all the glory to God because that's who helped me through. And there I am. Bye-bye.